So there's many issues wrong with Google Stadia's release. Probably the biggest issue that users had was that the activation code email was not going out. So this is a required step in actually turning on your Google Stadia service, and the email just wasn't sending out. I don't know if their server was down, just people were not getting the email. But once you do get the email, that's not all you have to do. That's just step one of the process. Next, what you have to do, you have to download a specific app on the Google Play Store. It's called the Stadia app, and you have to download it to the Android device. And apparently, this doesn't really have any features. It's just another step in the process to verify your account. Really unnecessary. I don't know why the first activation code from the email couldn't be all the activation you would need to set up Google Stadia, but regardless, that's what you have to do. But apparently it only works with certain phones. So if you have a phone that's a few years old, you can't even download the Google Stadia app. So you can't even set up your service that you paid for. And also the Chromecast Ultra that comes with it also can't run the Stadia app. So yeah, if you paid $130 to be a founder, really what you're paying for is to be a tester, like a QA tester for the service, because they clearly rushed it and didn't have everything ready in time. Yeah, it's also kind of interesting because they say like Stadia is this free service, but it's not really free because you still have to buy the games. So you're paying a monthly fee for the service, but then you still have to pay full price for the games. Now they are going to be launching a free version next year, but even then it's not really free because you still have to buy the games. It's kind of ridiculous. And also in the meantime, we got Project xCloud coming out, which has a bigger library of games and just seems to be way better kind of built. You know, they already have that gaming audience, Microsoft does. So far Google Stadia is not getting off to a good start. I think xCloud definitely has a one up on Stadia. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like why are they, why is Google requiring you to go through, an activation email, then you got to download an app. Really what they're doing is they're just charging their customers more money for a worse experience. I mean, really they want you to have, you have to have an Android device, smartphone that's new. It can't be a couple years old. Otherwise you can't even activate Stadia service. You have to have Google Chrome web browser. You have to have the Google Stadia controller and device. You have to have their setup. You have to have a Gmail account. It's like they just want you to live in their ecosystem, but there's really no benefit except for they just gouge their customers for more money. So this is another article from Kotaku. Google Stadia just ain't it. That was kind of interesting. Also, their lineup, I guess, is pretty weak. So we got a couple games here. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, $59.99. Guilt, $29.99. Just Dance 2020, $49.99. These are like full retail prices. Like you're not even really getting a discount unless you have the Stadia Pro, which is kind of ridiculous. Like I'm not even really sure where you're getting with this besides the Google logo or brand name. The Google Stadia brand, really, that's all you're getting from this. Maybe they improved the service, but it's very different than what they had talked about a couple months ago. This just feels like a half-baked idea. And also the other thing is, like, apparently they were saying it was going to have negative latency, which isn't even possible. But regardless, it's not negative latency. People are coming out saying that the latency is pretty terrible. This is an issue that OnLive had when they released this kind of streaming console idea. Is this people have to have super high speed internet, but also like their servers on the back end have to be able to handle the high throughput, and it just sounds like it just isn't there. So it seems like they just rushed it to get it out before Black Friday, and it's just not ready. I mean, there's a chance they could still improve it, but I don't know. It's not looking good to me.